Guys won it in a different way. I know Coach Apple was like, man, I haven't been through one of these in a while, low scoring, close game. What was that like for you guys to sort of grind that out and have your defense come up so big for you?
Yeah, that was right when you said it. That was gonna be the first thing that I mentioned was just the defense and how, you never really feel like you're out of it or like you don't have a chance, right? I think it's really cool whenever you can have that trust in the other side of the ball to go out there and just continue to stop them, continue to, give us opportunities to, figure it out and put the ball in the end zone or put the ball through the uprights, whatever it was. I think all three phases worked really well together the other day and come out with a win. And I think that's all you can really ask for, right? You take an ugly win over a really pretty loss any day. So I think we're just happy to win the game, man, and come out of that with the win.
Awesome.
Jake, when you scored the touchdown against Virginia, it kind of broke a streak. Now you got 3 on the season. And I think the Titans have scored in every game the season except for the one you lost.
Yeah.
What is it about, you down there in the red zone this year where you feel like, you're one of Joe's targets?
I think just personally developing my game to the point where I can, show up and make plays like that. I'm not doing anything spectacular or crazy or out of the ordinary. Just kind of be in the right positions and put myself in a position to make those plays has been a big thing for me. Obviously, opportunity comes. You want to make the best of it, and I think that's what the Titans have done, up to this point, and had some good success.
We'll go with Paige and then Ben.
There was an interesting and funny play on the game where the ball kind of ricocheted off of Dante Thornton and McCallum was there for the catch. What was the reaction on the sideline? Have you guys talked about that at all?
Stuff like that happens a lot, like I guess just around ball and at practice it'll happen sometimes, and just one of those things that you don't really play for, but I think you just be around the ball and you play really hard, you play really fast, and good things happen. You kind of just stumble upon big opportunities, and that was really big for him. Just to kind of be in that space and be able to make that play. Obviously that changes kind of the way that the game is played. If you go back and look at it, just the way the film and the way that the game played out after that, kind of turned the tides a lot for us, just being able to move the ball and getting first downs and stuff like that. So definitely a huge play, and it was cool that it happened that way.
Ben.
Jacob, y'all had pre-snap issues at Georgia last year and Florida earlier this season, some communication issues. What needs to be different this week to not allow that to happen again?
Man, just being us. Obviously, we'll practice with it, and we'll hear it all week, and we'll hear their songs all week. We'll hear crowd noise all week. Just being able to focus, man, just lock in, and I think that a lot of the problems come from just that, man. It's just lapse in focus, or you're thinking about something else, or you're thinking about, maybe your job or where your guy is. You're supposed to be blocking, but at the end of the day, it's the most important thing is can we eliminate penalties? Can we play clean? I know Cooper's going to do a great job of leading. I'll talk to him here in a minute, so that's a question maybe for him. But he'll do a great job, and we'll be on the right calls, and Joe will do great, and hopefully it won't be a problem.
Adam.
Jacob, you said you take an ugly win over a pretty loss. Speaking offensively, you guys ran the ball. There wasn't much downfield passing. Can you win at Alabama with the way you guys played the other night?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let me think about my answer here. Yeah, anybody can win any game, any given week, right? I think you look at the scores, and this has nothing really to do with it, right? But Texas A&M plays a really similar game to Alabama that we play them, right? And Texas A&M has an extremely good defensive front. Alabama has an extremely good defensive front, right? As long as we're able to control line of scrimmage and we're able to move the ball, whether it's through the air or on the ground, that's really the end goal, is to be able to move the ball down the field, put the ball in the end zone. That's one thing we have to focus on for sure, moving forward, not necessarily just this week, but just finishing drives, right? Putting the ball in the end zone, getting points, getting 7 points whenever we're down there. Defense, again, being strong, standing up, making a lot of big plays, and the special teams being able to put us in, cool opportunities where D. Williams is able to, get a return and finally get in the end zone and just do these things that, we all know are capable every single week, regardless of who we're playing. So it's kind of cool to see everything just kind of come together.
Go Wes, Vince, and then Ben.
Jacob, aside from the touchdown catch that you had there in the red zone, it seemed like a lot of the red zone was a struggle against A&M. That's a good defensive front, a good front seven. I'm sure that was part of it. But how much of that was stuff they were doing to y'all, and how much of that was just stuff y'all were just not executing?
Yeah, all we can do is just look at what we're doing wrong, right? There's nothing that the other team does that, if we're in the right call and we got the right, it's on us, right? A lot of the stuff is self-inflicted, and a lot of the stuff is things that we can control. And whether it's penalties. I think, that was a big story on Saturday. It was just how many penalties we had and just kind of putting ourselves in bad situations with the chains. But just being able to capitalize on all those opportunities is the way that you go really far in this thing and you win those really big games.
Vince, then we'll finish with Ben.
You mentioned Alabama's defense a little bit. Seemingly they lose guys to the NFL every year, yet they still play really good defense. Anything specific that stands out about their defense?
I haven't gotten time to watch a whole lot of it. That's something I'll kind of get into as we go along here. But man, yeah, they have great players, right? They recruit great players and they play the guys that are the best out of that pool of guys. So obviously they're going to be really good talents. They're going to be strong, fast, physical. But we also have really good players too. We have strong, fast, physical offensive linemen, strong, fast, physical tight ends, backs, quarterback. That'll go out there and that'll meet the call every single week. So that's pretty much that.
A&M and Alabama's defensive fronts are kind of talked about similarly, and I know you haven't watched the film yet, but how much can you draw from the experience this past weekend going into Tuscaloosa facing a similar defensive front?
Man, just handling your one-on-ones, being able to steal double teams when we can, being able to climb the backers. It's just the fundamentals of football that you learn when you're a kid. Understanding scheme, understanding how our scheme fits with the different fronts that they're in. The bodies are just bodies, right? End of the day, it doesn't really matter who the name is or who the face is. If you're able to execute, have good feet, have good hands, good hat, then things will work out for you in the running game.
Thanks, Jacob.
There's a communication question, just what needs to be different this week. And I'm curious, since you're on the sidelines at Florida, if you've noticed anything watching from the sideline that maybe y'all can tweak this week to make sure those same issues don't exist.
Yeah, just doing our job at a high level. I think if you look at all those things that went wrong in that game, a lot of it was self-inflicted. So just going out there, being ready for the moment, and just having clear communication even when it's loud out there. Just doing our jobs at a really high level.
Wes?
Cooper, your job in particular at center, how much different is it when you're across the street here or you're playing somewhere else?
It just differs kind of on the environment. Basically for, cadence, they'll do some silent count stuff if it's going to be a loud environment. And then, just different facets of snap count and if it's going to be verbal on the hands or silent. Not much, but kind of stuff like that in third down.
Adam?
The crowd noise and communication aspect and all that, does that get easier if you play on the road in that a lot, or is it sort of the same whether it's your first time or 10th time?
Probably your first time, it's going to be pretty eye-opening, but from there, it's going to be just a loud environment every time in the SEC. Every SEC environment is going to be top-notch, and Bama's going to be the same way, and we just got to find ways to work around that and prevail from it. So, just like I said, doing your job at a high level and having communication when it's loud is the critical moment.
Paige and then Vince.
Obviously, you missed the first couple of weeks with an injury. Just how nice has it been to be back and then go on the road with the team again?
Super nice. I got to travel to all the away games with them, so I've been doing that and been able to, enjoy the away games a little bit. But it's been really nice to be back. Just being out there with my brothers, just being in the fight with them. That's what I came here for and what I came here to do. So super happy about it.
Vince?
Right now, the passing game hasn't been up to your standards, right? Explosive plays, all those kind of things. How is everybody involved in that? Joe, the tight ends, everybody hanging in there in terms of trying to stay motivated and try to get better in that area?
I think everybody's motivated. I think the biggest thing, if you look at from our win this past weekend, a lot of our stuff, it's just small things. The margins of winning and losing stuff in the SEC is really small, and there's really talented guys everywhere. So it's all a matter of execution and us doing stuff at a really high level, and we'll figure out ways to do that.
Vince, go ahead.
And anything that you haven't said about the running backs that you can share in terms of how they continue to produce at the high level they do?
Yeah, no, I'll take any opportunity I can to congratulate them and praise them a little bit. They're doing a great job. They got a really loaded room. 3 guys that are really similar skill level that can do great things on every avenue, running and passing game. And they step up there in protection too and do a lot and help clean us up sometimes. So just super proud of those guys.
Sam, sorry.
You played with Jacob Warren for some time now. It seems like he's getting a lot more touches this season. Obviously, that big touchdown against Texas A&M. Anything you've noticed from him differently this year?
Not much, just, you know, he's a guy that's been here, like you said, he's been here a long time. Does stuff the right way. You know, anything that he does, he's gonna do it with the right intent and, you know, the right way to do it. So he's just been in a place to have touchdowns, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, he's been there to make the plays when the opportunity arises. So, you know, not surprising, just the guy that does stuff the right way, and now his opportunity has come.
Adam?
Another question about the crowd noise. I know a lot of y'all stuff is silent. What's the hardest part of the noise? Is it the snap count if it's not silent? Is it the line call, the play call, the stress of it? Like, what's hard about functioning the offense with noise?
It's just kind of everything included, like you said, everything that you just mentioned. It's all combining to make stuff kind of just hard. You know, if you went to your everyday job and somebody put a speaker right next to your head and it was about as loud as it got, you probably wouldn't be very good at your job. So that's just the challenge. It's an added level of chaos a little bit.
Wes?
Hubert, I'm sure you have confidence in your guys and up front, and confidence in those backs behind you. Did you think that y'all could run the ball the way you could this season, going into the season? Did you look at those backs of what y'all had up front and say, we think we can run the ball?
You saying this season or this past
season.
week?
This season.
Man, yeah, of course. You know, I don't think I go into any season and think that our O-line can't run the ball. You know, everybody kind of had a hard time in fall camp when, you know, our D-line was getting after us a little bit. And I was telling everybody, like, look, guys, like, they're going to be one of the best teams, best D-lines that you play all season. This is going to get us a lot better. So we practice against some of the best guys in the country every single day, every day in, day out, and it can't do anything to make you get better. So I think that's helped us a lot and, you know, gotten us to the point where we're elite in that category.
Anything else for Cooper? All right, thank you.